Good evening, welcome to my channel. I have had a lovely day today. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the mail. I'm so excited. I've been going mad on eBay and Amazon again and finding a whole lot of CDs and books and things that some of them I didn't know existed, some of them I knew existed, but really wasn't sure whether I wanted them or not. Well, I've got them now and I'm glad because I found out, oh yeah, I did want them. Okay, the first CD I just love. I just saw this and I had to have it. Didn't even know what was on it. It's called Rocker Elvis. Elvis Rocker. And it's, let me see, it's got some great songs on it. Oops. Let's turn this around so I can see. It's got Jailhouse Rock, Blue Suede Shoes, Tutti Frutti, Lordy Miss Claudie, I Got a Woman, Money Honey, Ready Teddy, Rip It Up, Shake, Rattle and Roll, Long Tall Sally, Baby I Don't Care, and Hound Dog. I mean, really, look at the cover with Elvis on the bike. I just love it. You know, imagine playing that at a party. People just wouldn't stop dancing. Okay, and this one is 100 Years From Now. And it's Essential Elvis Volume 4. Now, the guys over at the EAP Society, one of the YouTube channels devoted to Elvis, they've been reviewing these Essential Elvis things, and for a long time I've been of the opinion that, oh God, how many more records do we need of these same old songs, but the same songs over and over again. But I'm finding that it's not quite like that. As most of you already know, there's a lot of outtakes and different versions of these songs, and this is a classic example. 100 Years From Now, Elvis, and it's got 22 songs on it, and some of them I didn't know Elvis had done them. And then he's reciting something in the Lord's Prayer. There's a lot of stuff on it. Yeah, well, I didn't know. So this is I'm really looking forward to playing this one. It's got a little booklet inside with a little write-up about Elvis, songs, and so on. So, yeah. It's funny how you can re-educate yourself, isn't it? Been a fan for, 60 years, and I still don't know it all. Well, who does? This one, Elvis Now, I knew this existed, but I wasn't really sure about it. It's got to help me make it through the night. Miracle, the Rosary, Hey Jude, Put Your Hand in the Hand Until It's Time for You to Go. Again, I probably heard most of these at some stage, but I didn't have this particular CD, so I thought, oh bugger it, let's just get it. And if you can hear music in the background, that's what's playing now. This one, Good Times, is another one. I'd seen it around, didn't know whether I wanted it or not. I played this earlier actually, when I started playing these CDs. Got a little booklet again. I love these CDs with these little booklets with the write-ups and the what's on the record or CD. Interesting one with for me anyway. One of the songs, She Wears My Ring. We had a pop singer in Australia many years ago, Johnny O'Keefe. He was called the Australian King of Rock and Roll. Probably one of our top pop singers of the time. And he sang that, She Wears My Ring. And I haven't actually got around to looking it up when he did it, but I don't know who would have done it first, Elvis, or whether he got it from Elvis or Elvis got it from, obviously not from Johnny O'Keefe, who knows. But yeah, it's interesting because it was one of Johnny O'Keefe's biggest hits in Australia, and he sings it with as much emotion as Elvis does. Listening to it tonight made me, realise what a great song that was. This one, Elvis Raised on Rock. Again, seen it around, didn't really know care whether I wanted it or not, but yep, now I'm glad I've got it. Oops, that's good, isn't it, when these things fall apart? Back in. A little booklet. Another write-up. Songs. What else is in here? Yeah. couple of nice photos in the back. And this one's a bit different. This is called With Elvis in Mind, a True Dedication, featuring Carl Perkins, the Jordanaires, Scotty Moore, DJ Fontana, Johnny Earl, Skiff a Billy and the Johnny Earl Band. I bought it simply because I saw it online and I thought that sounds interesting. I love Elvis tribute things. So that's the disc, and then behind here you've got all the King's men, and it's a photo of from left to right: Scotty Moore, the Jordanaires, DJ Fontana, Carl Perkins, Johnny Earl. Now the write-up is a bit, how can I say, a bit hard to read. I hate it when they print white on grey so you can hardly read it, and then he's got this black on the yellow background. Very hard to read. So I've yet to play it, but it should be interesting. Like I said, I buy these things. I'm building up quite a collection of tribute to Elvis stuff. I had quite a lot I put in another thing on my channel about the tribute things, but I've bought quite a lot since then. So, and I've got a couple of books now. Before I go into those, I just want to give a shout out to Mark over at 100% Pure Elvis. He's doing what I'm doing. He's going through doing reviews of his CDs, his records, his books and stuff. And I blame him. I told him in a couple of days ago, I said, I'm never going to watch your channel again. You are entirely responsible for breaking my bank account. Every time I see books he's got, I want. And not always easy to get. Some of the ones he's talked about in his last video: Richard Buskin, Elvis Memories and Memorabilia, the recorded music of Elvis Presley by Joseph Funzi, Elvis in Focus by Sean Shaver, Good Rockin' Tonight, I want a hardback, Joe Esposel, I've got that. Elvis Files, Was His Death Fake? I'm not interested in getting that. Jerry Hopkins, the Elvis biography, I've got that. Complete recording sessions by Ernest Jorgensen, the Elvis Encyclopedia by David Stanley, yep, I've got that. Elvis by the Presleys, I've got the DVD. I'm about getting the book. Not saying it, I'm sure it's very good, but do I need them both? Graceland Living Legend, yes, I've got that book. Elvis: A Celebration by Mike Evans, that. Elvis 10 Years After by the Elvis Presley Fan Club in England, and The Ultimate Day by Day, Elvis Day by Day by Patricia Pierce. Now I've got a book called Elvis Day by Day, that's by I think Goralnik and Jorgensen, so I don't really know if I want another. Anyway, the Elvis in Focus by Sean Shaver, Mark was saying how hard it is to get hold of and what a great book it is, and he did a bit of a flip through. Wow. So I naturally off onto Google and found it. I found 2 more books by Sean Shaver, which I had to have, so, you know, another $400 or $500. Hey, it's Elvis, why not? So yeah, thank you, Mark, for putting me onto those. This book arrived, and I borrowed this from our library a little while ago, and it's a kid's book, but it's just cute. Little People, Big Dreams, Elvis, and there's a whole range of them about different people. I think about the Queen, about different famous people, and let's see, yeah, so it's sort of a cartoon version, a very condensed version of Elvis's life story, how he started out. I think I've done a preview of this elsewhere, but it doesn't matter, I'll do it again. So yeah, it's quite good. It's, as I say, it's meant for kids, and I can understand where how kids under 10 years old might read this and become Elvis fans, so, you know, go into it a bit more as they got older, and decide this is a guy worth cultivating. So yeah, all good stuff. But look, it's not, I suppose, not your normal range of Elvis memorabilia, but like I said, I like things that are different. The final book I got today, in today's mail, was The Gospel Side of Elvis by Joe Moscheo. Moscheo? One of the Imperials, anyway. And one of those books again. I read it, and I just sat down and read it right through. I didn't stop until I'd finished it, and I can thoroughly recommend it. It is just beautiful. I've put little tags in here for some of the things he's written. At last count, over 1,000 books have been written about Elvis Presley. Why, may you ask, would I even attempt to write another? None of them have given enough attention and credence to the part of his life I like to call the gospel side. Let me state at the beginning of this book, I truly believe Elvis was the greatest gospel singer of all time. And he goes on about that. Now, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is going to be a bit like David Stanley's book about Elvis's faith, which is fine. We know, most of us realise that it was a big part of Elvis's life. But no, it's more than that. He talks about, it's all about Elvis's music and how Elvis was music. I don't know how else to put it, but I just, God, I can't tell you what a great book it is. And you have to read it. Everyone who buys books on Elvis, you have to get this one. Performing with Elvis in front of the wildly enthusiastic fans he attracted was an invigorating, utterly unforgettable experience. Any performer relishes the raw energy sensed when standing in front of a crowd having a great time. But Elvis was one of the most amazing entertainers in history. Like few others before or since, the magnetism of his personality emanated from the stage to the most distant seat in the house. He connected with his audience as few ever have. Well said. Those of us who worked with him never ceased to be astonished by the depth and breadth of his knowledge. He had a vast record collection, and none of it gathered dust. He knew every artist, every recording, and nearly every live performance. Not only did he know the songs, he knew the interplay of the parts, and so on. Now that brings to mind something I found on the internet only a few days ago. As most of you know, Elvis also liked classical music, Mario Lanza and so on. And I've read several times that he really loved Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven, and he was trying to learn it, to play it on the piano. And every time one of his entourage or somebody came in that, one of his regular guys that is used to him just singing rock and roll and other stuff, gospel, they'd say, "What are you playing? What's that?" And Elvis would turn off, he'd stop playing it. And I forget again one of his books, somebody was helping him, one of the musicians who knew it was helping him to learn to play it. Anyway, there was a channel on YouTube called The Music Professor, and he breaks down various, he writes, talks about and plays the piano and talks about the sheet music and so on, of various well-known classical pieces. And I found he was talking about the Moonlight Sonata, and it was fascinating. I found it fascinating. I sat there for about an hour and read it, watched it and listened to it. And at the end of it, I typed a comment on his channel saying, it probably won't interest you, but Elvis Presley was very interested in classical music, and one of his favourite songs was Moonlight Sonata. And he was trying to learn to play it. And it might surprise you to know that Elvis actually never learnt to play the piano, or was never taught, but he was self-taught, and he played by ear. And to my surprise, the music professor, within an hour, had answered my comment saying, "Yes, I know about Elvis. I've seen him play the piano and he was very talented." I thought, isn't that a buzz? I just thought that was great. Anyway, that's beside the point. So, the last thing here in this book I want to read out. What was so special about him? What made him work for so many people then and now? Part of the answer, I think, lies in his personal charisma. When you were in Elvis's presence, you had no choice but to be drawn in. Time and again, people who were near him have spoken of the way he could engage you and just not let go. If he really wanted to, he could talk you into anything. A trait that could admittedly be both good and bad. And I've read some of the other, Jerry Schilling and Joe Esposito and stuff. Elvis talked them into doing things they didn't really want to do, but they didn't think it was right. But Elvis was Elvis, as they always said. He was so sincere, so transparent, even in his flaws. People were simply disarmed. Even Hollywood producers and executives who survived by retaining a healthy sense of cynicism were charmed by Elvis's politeness, his consideration of others' feelings, and his wish to please. Most people don't expect such traits in a superstar. I don't want to get carried away. That's the book, not me. But I think Elvis's personal magnetism could be compared to that of some of the most brilliant and influential leaders the world has ever known. In fact, I think you'd have to go outside the music and entertainment world to find a single person who has had a more sweeping impact on culture. The Elvis figure is one of the most recognisable images worldwide, easily as much so as a corporate logo like Coca-Cola. His recordings generate more sales now than ever. Each year his music outsells that of most other recording artists. His movies, TV specials, concert documentaries and the products based on these continue to be rebroadcast, repackaged and remarketed every year. His audience continues to grow. And so on. Look, he's full of praise for Elvis. It's a wonderful book. I just can't say enough about it. I want to do a review of the Paul Lichter book now and do a flip through because it's got so many beautiful photos. Look, I'm falling over my words now. I'm so sorry, but most of you have looked at me, watched my videos. You know what I'm like. So I'm not going to apologise. That's just me. Anyway, I'll finish this one now and I'll go and get the book and start again with the Paul Lichter book.